Okay, so today is March 11th, 2020. So today I'm at my favorite Home Depot store here in Prescott, Arizona. It's about 70 miles from where I live in Ashford. And today I'm doing a video on the #1 compost that we've used in our garden since last year. We've used this compost in a variety of different types of situations. We've used it in containers, we've used it for our raised beds. It's really, really good. I'll be going into detail or dropping a link about where you can find it later on when I figure all this out. It's called Garden Time's Naturally Inspired Mushroom Compost, and it's made here in Arizona. It was made in Tucson, so it is kind of local. I've found that this compost has more nutrients than most composts that have just like a lot of wood chips in it. I've noticed that when you buy manures from like this steer manure has way more wood chips in it than the steer manure that I go out and collect on our property and age and mature ourselves. So you want to make sure that you're checking out the stuff that you're using for your containers, for your raised beds, in general, what you're using for your garden. You want to make sure that you test it, see if you like it. My recommendation is definitely Garden Time Naturally Inspired Mushroom Compost. This stuff works wonders. Every week I come into Prescott and I buy 2 bags of this, and here at our local Home Depot in Prescott it's about $2.48 before tax. So it's not too expensive. Usually I spend about $7 when I buy 2 bags, and that's like roughly, it's like $6 and some change. So that's what I used for our #1 compost. And I'll get back to you on more things that we're using. So another thing that we're gonna try out from our local Home Depot is gypsum. It's lawn and garden gypsum, soil magic. It's I believe, I haven't done much research on it yet, but I believe it's a powder or a stone or something that's found in nature, and it helps break up your soil. So like for us, we have clay soil out in Ashford, so I'm going to use this stuff to try and break up that clay to add drainage to my corn plot. I got my 2 bags for $1.10 here at Home Depot in Prescott, but the price has been risen to $2.10 a bag. It was $4.18, so this is a pretty good deal, and I'll do more videos later on about how well it's worked for me and our corn plot. Alright, so another thing here at our local Home Depot in Prescott is plant selection. You want to know which plants to buy and which plants not to. First, it all goes off of what you intend to have in your garden. So let's say, for example, we are definitely doing tomato plants this year. So you're going to take a look at the tomato plants that you have in your store, and you're going to choose off of a couple different things. One, you're going to want to check and make sure that your plant is healthy and strong, not wilted or anything like that. Plants like this one you might not want to get. I know it looks super awesome because there's all these leaves and stuff like that, but what these extra leaves are is they are draining energy. These are called true leaves, and they're draining energy from the soil and from the plant to make these leaves. You want to have them, but you also don't want to have too many of them. They can cause problems. Your plant will become super heavy and lean to one side. There's less nutrients going to developing fruit. It's more nutrients going to keeping the leaves alive and working on those. So that's just a couple things that you want to look for like tomato plants. Now, when you're doing the groups, the 6-packs, you really want to make sure you're looking at all those plants that are in the 6-packs. So for example, this spinach has got 6 in them, and they all look fairly healthy. There's some damage to the leaves, but that's to be expected. But there are some situations where, like last week, I came to this Home Depot and the lettuce just looked so sad. There's some times where they put the plants out too early, or maybe they're out in the sun when they're not supposed to be. Lettuce and spinach and stuff like that is a cool weather plant, and here in Arizona we've had some really bipolar weather. There were some days where it was just really hot outside. My lettuce at home wilted. So when you come to the store and you're buying a 6-pack, make sure that you're looking at each and every one. You want to make sure that you're getting the healthiest plants for the least amount of money. So that's a little bit about picking out vegetables. here at Home Depot. I'll do more in-depth videos as we go along. Alright, so a little bit about getting flowers at a store is some of the things you want to look for are like these right here. These have been in bloom for a couple days now. You can tell that the flowers are starting to wilt, they're starting to look sad, and stuff with like annuals. You don't want to get an annual flower plant from the store that's already in bloom because annuals only go through one life cycle every year. They don't come back. So they go from seed all the way to full bloom and then die off and then produce seed more. So when you're going to the store and buying flowers, you want to make sure that you're getting the ones that tend to not have the blossoms or blooms because you want those to grow while they're at your house, so that way you're getting the most out of your flower selection during the summer when you plant them. You don't want them to bloom 2 weeks after you get them and then have 3 months where you have this dead plant in your yard, $6 wasted. So you want to make sure that you're looking at that for annuals and perennials. Perennials will come back. They last more than 2 years, but you want to make sure you're taking care of those so that way they can come back. And it's the same thing. If you're buying a perennial, you want to make sure you're getting the ones that don't have the blossoms and blooms right away. You want that to happen at your house. And pretty much just go off your gut feeling. If you do find a flower that's already bloomed, but you're absolutely in love with that one flower, buy it, enjoy it. It's all about having fun and your own preferences. And that's a little bit more about shopping at our local Home Depot in Prescott, Arizona.